So you rookies think a couple of successful runs makes you a veteran. You think that shiny new saber suit makes you invincible. Let me tell you about my trip into the Agroprom underground last week. It might just save your life. The job was simple, or so I thought. A scientist in Yanta was paying top ruble for a specific type of artifact, a kolobok, that supposedly only forms in high radiation zones. The old Agroprom tunnels were the obvious place to look. I checked my gear, packed extra filters and medkits, and told myself it would be a quick in and out trip. The zone always laughs at plans like that. The descent was tense. The air thick with the smell of damp concrete and something metallic, like old blood. My detector started chirping immediately, a steady rhythm that was almost comforting. It's the silence you have to worry about. I navigated the familiar corridors, the beam of my headlamp cutting through the oppressive dark, my boots crunching on debris. I found a small nest of whirligig anomalies, carefully plucking a couple of low-level artifacts from their gravitational pull. It was deeper in, past the flooded sections, that my detector started screaming. Not the steady chirp of an artifact, but the frantic, high-pitched wail it makes when something is fundamentally wrong. Something big was nearby. Against my better judgment, I pushed forward. The potential payout was clouding my mind. The corridor opened into a massive cistern, a circular chamber that echoed with a low, guttural breathing that was definitely not my own. My headlamp beam swept across the far wall, and that's when I saw it. It wasn't it was huge, pulsating with a faint green light, embedded in a grotesque nest of flesh and wiring that had fused with the concrete wall. Before I could even process what I was looking at, the breathing sound stopped. A shape detached itself from the ceiling shadows. It wasn't this was something new. It was long and emaciated, with limbs that bent at impossible angles and a face that was just a smooth plate of skin. Except for a gaping, circular mouth lined with what looked like broken glass. It dropped to the floor without a sound and scrambled towards me, its movements jerky and unnatural. I raised my rifle, my hands slick with sweat. My first burst of automatic fire stitched across its chest, but it barely flinched. The thing let out a shriek that vibrated in my bones, a sound that bypassed my ears and went straight to my brain. My vision swam. I stumbled back, fumbling for a grenade. The creature was unbelievably fast. It closed the distance in a heartbeat, one of its razor-sharp limbs swiping at me. It tore through my suit and into my shoulder. The pain was white-hot and blinding. I screamed, firing wildly as I fell backward into a pool of stagnant water. The shock of the cold water cleared my head for a split second. The monster was on top of me, its blank face inches from mine, that horrific mouth opening wide. I could smell its breath, like rotting meat and battery acid. This was it. This was the end. I had one last, desperate idea. My left hand still held the grenade. With my last ounce of strength, I pulled the pin with my teeth and shoved the grenade right into its gaping maw. I used my legs to kick off the thing's chest, sending myself skidding backward through the fouled water just as it bit down. The resulting explosion was deafening in the enclosed space. It blew the creature to pieces and sent a shockwave that slammed me hard against the concrete wall. Everything went black for a minute. When I came to, I was lying in a pool of water and gore, my ears ringing, my shoulder on fire. The pulsating artifact thing on the wall was gone, destroyed in the blast. I didn't care. I grabbed my rifle, injected myself with a combat stimulant, and scrambled out of those tunnels without looking back. So, next time you go out hunting, remember my story. The zone always has new nightmares waiting for you, and the biggest payday is the one where you get to live.